Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Apologies for that. It's going to be a very difficult one today. And if you're looking at my screen, this is how you're going to be seeing, because the main camera is on the other side. And the main camera, as you can see, if I switch the cameras, the other three screens aren't working as yet. It's still repairing the disc, but we're gonna go through the show anyway. But that's by the way, I'm gonna say hello to all of you. Just give me a second here. Let me share my screen to all of you already in the chat. Before we start talking, we'll start by some news. The Pat Nevin story, and then also we'll talk about the Benoit Badiashile with being linked with a move to AC Milan. I know that will never happen, no matter. But that's just me. Let's start by saying hello to those of you in the chat. Nice to see you again, brother Constantin Dante. Apologies, as much as I hate to use just two screens, it is very difficult, not as seamless as when I use five screens. But this, yeah, I think it would be only today. Otherwise, get it says repairing disk errors. This might take over an hour to complete. I don't think we'll be able to use the other screens today, so you're going to be seeing the side of my face in this one. And we have just me having a conversation with Constantin Dante. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and see where we have anything important here to read. And Chelsea, meet your boy is in the house. Meet your boy, nice to see you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. You know what to do. Big up to you too. Even though I don't like you. And then we have Vic. Vic is in the house. Vic is saying Man City in the Premier League agreed date for trial over 115 financial rule break charges. Autumn of 2024, no possible sanctions until 2025. Big up to you too, Vic. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. I'm not going to be highlighting too many stuff. That's because this particular system wasn't meant for highlighting stuff like this. It was only meant for just me looking at how many people liking the stream, and sometimes adding credit to the description section of the videos, and also switching the cameras. So, but that's the only two. We're going to be using only two screens today, so it's not going to be as easy as usual for me. And no sound. You said no sound. Lagging in red, not a good start, not a good one, and that's because the other system is still up from updating to fixing disk errors. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. And Rashi, congratulations, you got Onana. Your team, Manchester United, got Onana over Chelsea Football Club. So good luck to you. This road, Onana. I'm quite sure people will enjoy your complaints in the chat there. But that's by the way, Vic. Nice to see you, Rashi. Nice to see you. Greetings to all of you. Apologies, you will be lagging, and that's because this is not the main system. But I think we should just manage it and go through it. And if you're in the chat, let's hear you. Let's hear you, Vic. Let's hear you, Constantin Dante. What do you make of? What do you make of the Pat Nevin story? To me, a lot of people would just mention it. You can say being sentimental about it. The truth remains. He works for the club. I don't care in whatever capacity, which means he probably has access to the owners. And if all the owners know him well enough to decide, you know what, you're not working for us anymore, which means he had access to them and could have reached out and said, look, I have an advice for you. As a former Chelsea player, I believe had he done that, I think he'd listen. Even he could have called, you could say, reach out to some of the former Chelsea players and say, let's have a meeting here. This is our club suffering. Let's talk. Let's reach out to the owners. For me, I don't think that their transfer strategy is working. And if you feel the same, let's go sit and talk with them and advise them on what we feel like they should be doing, rather than go on TV and be, I wouldn't say, I don't know if it'd be correct to use the term bad mouthing, or you could say criticize the new owners. I don't think it makes sense. Even though, some will argue that he's telling the truth. Even if that's the case, you don't do that. You had access to the owners, like I've complained. For me, You don't do that. That will undermine your place or your position or in whatever capacity that you've worked. You were working for the club at the time. It just doesn't matter. You don't do that. For me, I think the owners have every right to fire him. They own the club, and they've decided to go to run the business. It's a business, and they've decided to run the business in a certain way. Um, you don't. I don't think it makes sense to go mouth them in the public. So thank you, people. We have 15 people watching. I'm not sure how many likes. That's because I don't have enough screens to be checking how many likes we'll have. I'm using just two screens. So let's see. As usual, if you're in the chat, let's hear you. If you have anything to say, yeah, probably my hard drive. Yeah, the three, this particular screens here, one through two, three of them using one system. Yeah, probably a hard drive issue. I tried to force it to restart, just to make sure I started the show on time. Then, yeah, it created errors in the disk. So now it's trying to correct the errors, and it's saying it's going to take more than an hour. But that's, by the way, we move on. We're gonna do whatever we can. Yeah, by the time we do another show, I think we'll be better off. Yeah, no problem, bro. I think I'll be fine. Vix. Vic, let's see. Oh, Nana. Yeah, that. Oh, na. So many songs that could go with that. Rihanna had the songs. She has a song that sounds something similar to that. Yeah, the lyrics, something similar to that. But that's, by the way, let's hear you if you have anything to say with regards to, yeah, Pat Nevin. Yeah, whether I don't know whether I'd be correct to use the term that Chelsea fired him. It doesn't really matter. It all comes down to you don't say such about your boss in public, because I'm quite sure. I'm going to repeat this. I've said it before. If they know him well enough to recognize, oh, look what he's doing, I'm quite sure had he you could say call the meeting of the former Chelsea players and say, look, if you're with me with regard to how the club is being run at the moment, I think we can go speak to them. They will listen. It's as simple as that, and he didn't do that. For me, if I were one of the owners too, yeah, I'd be part of those saying let's let him go. It's as simple as that. But they say they will still review his place at the club, maybe to decide whether to let him continue as a columnist for the Fifth Stand. And he's a good writer, by the way. But that's besides my argument whether he was saying the truth or not. You shouldn't be bad mouthing your bosses. But that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. And because we're having an issue whether the other because it would take a lot of switching. I'll try to switch connect the camera switch out in some not in other ways, and yeah, that would be problematic. So let's move on. This guy is saying who will win. It's going to be a difficult game. Brighton, they've become one of our biggest rivals in the Premier League, not because they are as big as Chelsea, but you could say the whole thing is defined by the transfer activities that's gone on between the two clubs. We signed you could say we signed Casado. We also took our former coach, what's his name, Graham Potter from them. Signed Mark Cucurella. I think I'm missing one more player. It's Casado, it's Mark Cucurella. Correct me if I'm missing anybody there. But go ahead, let me see some contributions in the chat with regard to the Pat Nevin story. And that's Joshua Dan. Nice to see you, Mr. Joshua. Big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And apologies this morning. It's going to be a very weird one because I'll be using yeah, just two screens instead of five. And that particular system carrying a lot of software, a lot of tools that I'm using for the stream. It's not as fast as the main screen. This says Pat Nevin has been great for the club. Yep, no question. You cannot take away what he's achieved with Chelsea Football Club, and or let me say his pedigree, well respected. But that's not. If we're being truthful to ourselves, you don't badmouth your bosses. It's as simple as that. And I'd like to. I would go back again to what I explained. The fact that the club know him well enough, the owners know him well enough to recognize, oh, look what he's doing. Why he still works for us. I think, which simply means he had access to the honors. And the fans respect him so much, and I'm sure former players also, even DJ Joma and others, know him very well. Had he called the meeting and say, "Let's talk. If you don't like what's going on, the way the club is being run at the moment, I don't either. So maybe we should, yeah, let's sit and talk. Let's try and schedule a meeting with the owners." And had they done that, I'm quite sure the owners will not refuse a meeting with them. I think they will grant them the opportunity to listen to them and hear what they have to say. After all, they have a program which allows them to communicate with the fans, so they get the fans' opinion. So my point is, yeah, Pat Nevin worked for the club, and given his pedigree as a Chelsea legend and what he's achieved with the club during his play, what he achieved with the club during his playing days, I think, yeah, I don't think bad mouthing the club on TV. I don't think that's right. I think that was wrong in my opinion. But that's fine. Well, let's see what people has to say about that. Let's see. Pat Nevin has been great for the club. He's a good writer, by the way. I read a lot of his articles there. Vic saying Nevin is a football writer and broadcaster. He works for the media team and writes for the matchday program. He's not their advisor. I'm just saying, his team, they some clubs have just like you have old school boys association and all that. But I'm sure you listen, and quite sure you heard everything I said. I'm just saying the fact that they know him well enough to know when he granted that interview, or whenever he gave that response to a particular question, of which I haven't seen. Yeah, it simply means he had access to the owners. If he wanted to. There are other ways to. I think he should know better. Let me just simplify it. In my opinion, whether what he said was the truth or not, he should know better. It doesn't matter the capacity at which he worked at Chelsea. You work for them. To an ex. I don't know how I said to phrase it to come across effectively, but I'm quite sure you get my point. Nevin is a football writer and a broadcaster. He works for the media team and writes for the matchday program. He's not their advisor. He's doing his job with integrity and fairness as a writer. Here's the thing. Let me just go back to saying, you know what? Yeah, freedom of speech, but sometimes what you say can get you into trouble. And in this case, where it doesn't matter whether you are a freelancer at Chelsea or not, they own the club. It's a business. Sentiments aside, whatever you've achieved with the club, yeah, remains. That will never change, no matter what. But the truth remains, you have to be careful what you say if you're working for somebody. It's as simple as that. But the other aspect of me arguing that he had access to the owners and could have done things differently if he didn't like the way the club is being run at the moment. But for me, it's just my opinion. Let's go. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. I'm not even sure how many likes we'll have right now because I don't have enough screens to isolate the window that will be showing me what's going on. We, as Chelsea, we need to win the Brighton game. I think we're capable of winning that game. And that's because I get it. If I vote now, I know majority will you could say, probably 60 to 70% will believe that we'll say that Chelsea will win this one, but it's not an easy game. I get it. Brighton, they have a couple of important players injured or suspended, but still they are a very, very good side. You can say they play as a unit. We're not where it has yet. We're not anything close in terms of playing as a unit. We're not close to Brighton. But that's by the way. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Again, I'm not even sure how many likes we'll have. Rashi's gone. If I were Rashi, I'd run too. Because it's shameful, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. They wouldn't just fire him. He must have said stuff behind the scenes as well. Yeah, I think it makes sense to argue that he must have done something else. I don't think him questioning the club's transfer strategy is the only reason why they decided to let him go. He must have said something some stuff behind the scenes as well. They didn't just that didn't go down well. It's as simple as that. But that's fine. We just eight likes. I thank you so much for highlighting that, Constantine Dante. I appreciate you. I can't even do the poll that I usually do to to beg for likes. Not bad. Since we haven't streamed for a while, I think it will get better. But we need a much better system. Hopefully, the lagging thing isn't as bad. He's not working for Putin or Kim Jong Un. I think they're just obsessed. He's not a brown envelope. He refused to be a PR machine, and that's also your opinion. We're not too sure what happened. We only know, you can say, what we've heard, and beyond that, like Constantine Dante have said, maybe he must have said something else behind the scenes that we know nothing of. But that's, by the way, we move on. Yeah, but more importantly, it's their business and they will run it the way they want. If you don't like it, you say it. But if you're still working for them, I don't think it makes sense to go, you can say, criticize them publicly. And like Constantine Danton mentioned, and I'm inclined to actually believe that's the case. I think he's done more than just criticize the owners in public. We've been doing pretty well against Brighton in recent, you can say, recent games. From preseason to the cup game, and then this one now. Let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Coach Nkunku is fully fit. Not quite sure. The pictures of him I've been seeing all have been him training alone. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen any showing him training with his teammates, but he's been on the grass for a while now. Do I think it started against Brighton? I'm not too sure. Maybe he gets a few minutes on that day, but I'm not sure really. So let's start previewing the match immediately. So I'm going to pick Chelsea, of course, and that's maybe I should just you can say go through the insights and everything, and the injured players. But let me just go with this. Let's influence my you can say my prediction with regards to which of the teams will win on that day. 65%, I think I'm correct. I said about 60 to 70% will probably believe that Chelsea will win this one. So 65% thinks that Chelsea will win. 13% thinks it ends in a draw, and 22% that thinks Brighton will beat Chelsea. And for injured and suspended players, Lewis Dunk, he got suspended after the last game. Mahmoud Dahoud, red card. Also, Tariq Lamte, always injured. Solimatch, injured. Tariq's return date unknown. Solimatch, early December. Okay. Estupian, injured. A fine player too. Can play multiple positions. And Mitoma is injured. What a tricky customer he is. He's one player that I'm still shocked that I'm shocked that he's still at Brighton. Mitoma is an excellent player, good on the ball. Fine. He has everything, honestly. And and Ciso, knee injury. James Milner, Danny Welbeck, another you can say a player that always scores against Chelsea Football Club. Ansu Fati also injured. Wow. Adam Webster injured, but you can say they are depleted right now. But that's no guarantee that Chelsea will beat them on that day. Because the Charity FC is well and truly in existence. So there's no guarantee what the outcome of that game will be. You can't just look at the fact that they have so many important players out and conclude, that they're losing that one. No, it doesn't work like that. With Chelsea Football Club, the more depleted our opponents are, the more I expect us not to play well on that day. But that's, by the way, let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. Vic says, Coach Nevin had done the same for years. He criticizes a transfers and manages. Roman didn't fire him. Just saying. Maybe I need to see where he did that under Roman, because I'm quite sure Roman probably will fire him 10 times while the current owners fired him just once. If you get my analogy there, what I mean by saying that. But that's just my opinion. I'm inclined to believe what Constantine Dante said. Chances are he must have said something else behind the scenes that we know nothing about. But let's wait in here. I think with time more will come out with regards to what has happened that led to the current owners of firing Pat Nevin. It all depends on how well done is the turkey pot, what he decides to do. Yeah, we will find out. I think I'm not too sure whether to argue one of the reasons why we lost against Newcastle was because he wasn't on the touchline. No, I don't think it makes sense. I think a lot went wrong on that day, and I'm not quite sure yet what it is because I was so angry, and because you could say I wasn't going to host any show, like any match review show with for that particular game. I didn't bother watching it again, and I wasn't in town also. But that's by the way, that's why it's something more. Yeah, probably not because he criticized the owners in public. I think he must have said something or must have done something more. We don't know. So let's see head to head here. Says that we've played them how many times? That's 16 times. And out of 16 times, we've won 8 times, drawn 5 times, and they've won 3 times. For the last five, I can't see. Let me just expand this. I hope it doesn't cause me a problem because I'm using a single system. The last 5, we've beaten them how many times? 1, 2, and wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the last 5 times, okay, we've beaten them. Wow, twice. Yeah, and they've beaten us 1, 2, 3 times. So Constantine Dante, you can say, yeah, you're wrong. But for the last, if we're saying the last 2 games, the preseason game, yep, club friendlies, and then the cup game, EFL Cup, we beat them 1-0. During the preseason, we beat them 4-3. Yeah, I think actually of late, you could say, if we're using the term, if we're going to go by recent years or recent seasons, you could say they've been the better side, in my opinion. That's because we've had issues also. But that's, by the way, maybe things will be different this time. There's no way to tell. Yeah, but we've won 8 times, drawn 5 times, and they've beaten us 3 times. So let's see what else Constantine Dante has to say here. It's saying we locked them up last time, especially. I'm going on that one. Okay, you're going on that one. Not bad. But it looks like they have too many important players out. I think, yeah, we'll be better positioned to beat them, but that's not a guarantee. And that's because I'm going to repeat myself again. Charity FC is well and truly in existence. Yeah, and yeah, I'm not too confident. For Chelsea, we have Marco Correa suspended. Yep, Reece James suspended. Those 2 players, at the time where they were, you could say 2 of our best players. You could argue that Marco Correa has done well of late, but discipline has been one of our biggest problems this season. Yellow cards, just like yeah, here and there. Wesley Fofana, we know his case. Trevor Chalobah, I don't think he gets to play for Chelsea Football Club again. Romeo Lavia, a few days. Chances are, I'm not too sure. Even if it's fully fit by the time we play Brighton on Sunday, I don't think he starts. I'd be shocked if that's the case. Marcus Bettinelli, what is really going on with him? I do not know. It's been. I'm not too sure what to make of his case too. Gusto Enoch, so probably I think he'd play because Rich James is out, and I don't see the Sassy playing right back. The last time he played there, we were shambolic defensively. I get it. He's played right in the right back position for Monaco before, but I don't think he's. I think he was ineffectual when he got the opportunity to play for us there. Christopher Nkunku, a few days. Chances are he'd be ready to play on that day. Do I think he start and finish the game? Even if he starts, he probably play up to 60 minutes plus, or maybe he just gets about 30 minutes plus on that day. Then we have Connie Chukwuemeka. So it looks like he's recovered, but it's using the term doubtful simply means that he may well play on that day. I don't know. Ben Chilwell, I don't even, you can say I consider him a Chelsea player anymore. Hopefully he recovers so we can have enough numbers there. But even if it's fully fit, in my opinion, given what I know about Marco Correa, I'd always select Correa over Ben Chilwell, but that's just me for reasons I've explained 1,000 times here on the show. And we have Kuku locked up last time at right back, Mitoma, but we don't have him. Yep, Kuku is out. But the good thing is Mitoma is saying his return date will be early December, so he's out. And I'm glad that Estupiñán is out too. But they're a good side. No matter who comes in, does a good job. In my opinion, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And for those of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, remember, we appreciate you. And that's because you watching alone does go a long way. And thank you so much for being part of the community. We're back and we're going to be streaming on a daily basis right now. And hopefully the system will be, the main systems will be up and running by the end of the day today. Let's see. In Pedro Granja says, I miss Chukwuemeka. He's an excellent player. He can play as a 10, as an 8, and he has that intelligence, that sort of intelligence to read the game and know when to switch the ball from whatever position he is to another position so that we can be effective offensively. I think the manager likes him, and that hopefully he recovers and stays fit. But nice to see you, Mr. Pedro. I hope you're doing well. We at home, we should win. They haven't been that good this season, but we get to look at the insights. The question is, how good have they been away, and how good have we been at home? Yeah, I think we've been poor at home, in my opinion. But let's see why Ian Mason hasn't played yet, and that's because the manager doesn't see him as a left back. He played him in the midfield area during the preseason in the US, and in that area we're packed. Yeah, in that area we're seriously packed. I don't see him playing at all. If that changes by the time the season ends, then that's fine. But I think, in my opinion, I'd select him over Kukurea because of it. He's excellent offensively. But here's the thing. I don't think we're actually trying to get him to put pen to paper because we want to keep him. I think we're doing that because we want to get a sizable fee from his sale. Should we find a buyer? Now, I think we're in a very difficult situation right now because I'm not. How long does he have on his contract again? I think probably just a year plus, and that's because we triggered the extension we had on his current contract. But unfortunately, I don't think he has a place in this Chelsea team, especially at left back. Yeah, I know, but unfortunately, the manager doesn't see him as a left back, and it's quite clear at this point. No worries, brother. I think you're actually communicating better than a lot of people who you could say who traditionally speak English. It's how Podge sets up and instructions made Gala at right wing again. You could argue that, but I'm tired of the Gallagher argument, and as I've said before, here's the thing. My main point is that he's improved, and the manager likes him quite a lot. And the bar is so low right now, even that a player under normal circumstances wouldn't get you can say get into any Chelsea the best Chelsea teams we've had are playing, you can say, better than the guys. You can say that some of the guys who spent quite a lot of money to buy. Just to simplify, let's see what Constantine Dante has to say here again. Maybe new formation. Common Poch keep changing it up. Yeah, I think he's changing it too much to my liking. I think he should stick with a particular structure so that the players can master it, and then he can mix things up a bit than trying to play with a hybrid approach. And in certain games, we could sense it that our players are just confused and doing well. If this single stream, if it works effectively, we'll try and do the lineup prediction. But it's been a bit laggy, not as I can say. What's the language I'm trying to use here? Not as seamless as when I have the 5 screens up. Coach, did you hear Eddie Howe is writing a book after last game? Really? You're joking, right? The Newcastle manager. You're joking. Just tell me you're joking. Let's see what we see. Let's see. I want to do chosen 11. Let's see if that will help us. Chosen 11. We will try and do the predicted lineup. Top scorers for both clubs. Jackson has 6 goals, and the Ferguson has 6 goals, 0 assists for both, and they both played 12 matches apiece. Each and yeah, Fort more rating for Jackson is 7.11, and for Ferguson is 6.83. Okay. Let's see. For the insights, we're going to look at it in a bit. Let's see. Yep, keep dropping the likes on the screen. His English is actually excellent. Yeah, better than the people who speak. Some you can say better than people who speak English traditionally, in my opinion. So for the insights, Chelsea are ranked 19 goals scored per match. Will average 1.7 goals per game, and yeah, Brighton are ranked fourth in goals scored per match. They're averaging 2.2 goals per match. Not a good sign, but you can say I get it. The statistics are, if you like, if you prefer the language insights, doesn't you can say doesn't you can say it's not. It just suggests or maybe gives you an idea what the outcome of the game will most likely be. It's not a certainty because yeah, you cannot script football, but it gives you an idea of what the most likely most gives an idea of the most likely outcome of that particular game. So in terms of goals scored scored per game, 1.7 for Chelsea, 2.2 for Brighton. Not looking good for us. Yep, Chelsea have won the previous 2 matches against Brighton and Hove Albion. Yeah, one preseason game and then one cup game. Yeah, let's see, and then yeah, and let me see what else we have here. Brighton haven't lost in 6 matches. Yeah, they haven't lost in 6 matches, and in 6 matches, I think we've lost 2 games. One against Newcastle and the other one against Brentford. We're ranked 8th in shots on target per match, 5 shots on target. It looks like we're better than them in that department there. And the Karu Mitoma has created the most big chances for Brighton and Hove Albion. And the good thing is that yeah, he's not. I don't think he'd be available for selection for that particular game. So I hope I hope we don't hear that he gets to play because his return date says early December. Yeah, the last let's go team form last 5 games. In the last 5 games, we've lost 2. One heavy loss against Newcastle United, 2-0. We've lost 0-2 at home to Brentford, and for them they've drawn 3 and won just 2. Okay, let's see. In that 5 games, how many goals have we scored? We scored 6. Wow, 10 and 11 goals in total in the 5 games. Yep, that's correct. 4, 8, and also 10 and 11, and they've scored 3, 4. Okay, 7, 8, 9 goals. So we've scored more goals. So if we're going by goals scored, you can say we've scored more in the last 5 games than them, and they've drawn too many. 1, 2, 3. We've drawn just 1 and lost 2. Mm. Um, if we're going by this, you can say it's really, really. I think the most that we can get out of this game, if I'm being honest, it's looking more like a draw. But my only hope is this: you cannot script football. Chances are, by the end of the day, the outcome will be an entirely, you say, it will be entirely different from what I believe it will be. Um, do I think we'd lose this game? I don't think so, and that's because we've scored more than them in the last 5 games. They've scored 9, we scored 11. Yeah, but let's see what happens in this one. it's yeah. Let's see what else we have here. We have not sure if Jersey is ordering a copy. Possibly, he likes to read books from the managers. And how should we line up against them? Is Malo Gusto already up from a red card? Yeah. I think he's nothing a knock. We've been told. But once they use the language knock, I think he'd probably be available for selection. Especially they will patch him up and get him to be ready for that particular game. Especially given the fact that Reece James isn't available for selection, and I don't want to see a situation where we play what's his name a situation where we play Axel de Sassy in the right back position. For me, I think it would be a huge risk to do that. The last time he played there, he looked lost. I get it. He's played there for Monaco before, but he didn't look at home. Brighton played all the crappy teams and drew a lot. Yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah, let me just pay attention to it. Against Everton, they drew. Against Fulham, they drew. Fulham, I wouldn't call them a crappy team. And against Sheffield United, they drew. So, yeah, you can say they haven't. Yeah, against they haven't. Wow, I think it's looking good for us because we're stronger. You can say on paper we're stronger than those teams. We're stronger than Fulham. We're stronger than Everton, in my opinion. We're stronger than Ajax. Right now, they're struggling. I think they didn't win a game for a while. The last time I can't remember the last time they won a game. And yeah, Sheffield United, yeah, they struggled against and they concede quite a lot. So if we can defend well, I think we get chances to score. So I agree with you. Thank you for highlighting that. I think we have a good chance to beat them. But if we don't defend well, they get goals. As you can see, that again overall since given this season they've been averaging 2.2 goals per game. Well, we've been averaging 1 point something per game. But if we defend well, it's a good point there. They've been playing the crappy teams, and yeah, they've been drawing, and only one. They beat Nottingham Forest, but they conceded 2 goals. They beat the Ajax. Yeah, Ajax have been struggling throughout the season. Wow. So that's an excellent point there, Constantin Dante. This says that they did get 2 red cards last 2 games. So that Dunk and Dahoud out as well. Yep, we've looked at that. Dunk is suspended. He's not going to play against us. Where's that area? Yep, Lewis Dunk is suspended. Mahmoud Dahoud is also suspended. They have lots of issues. Mitoma isn't going to be available. Welbeck may well be available for selection. And he always scores against Chelsea Football Club because they're using the term dot for Welbeck. But Mitoma doesn't look like he's going to play. Where's Mitoma here? Where did I see it? Tariq Lamptey so the match. It's 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. also is a good player. And Cecil, Milner, Welbeck, Ansu Fati injured. Did they just take off Mitoma from there? So it looks like Mitoma is going to be available. But when we checked it first, he was on the list. Am I missing anything here? Do I need glasses? I don't think I need glasses. It looks like yeah. So that makes you make an excellent point there. This is a must-win game. No excuses anymore. I think I agree with you. We have to win that game. And again, once more apologies. We're having issues with our main screens there. It's still saying repairing disk errors. This might take over an hour. So by the time the show will end, hopefully, yeah, if fixes before our next show. A must win. I think you can argue that. And this is saying we are at home. We need to be on the front foot. We're always on the front foot, actually. This needs to be a 2 to 3 goal win. Wow. I hope we're able to do that. But if we're going by what the numbers, you say, yeah, even at that, after looking at team form, 5 games than them, they scored 9, we scored 11. And as you mentioned, that's a good point. They've been playing the crappy teams, and those teams you can say on paper were better than those teams. So for me, I think, yeah, it'd be not a bad thing to be confident that we can actually beat them. I'm trying so that we get into the lineup building exercise and get it done as soon as possible. Yeah, 4-2-3-1 most likely, whether hybrid or not, I honestly don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. And keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. It's been a good break for me. I'm back, and we're gonna be streaming daily. Yeah. All right. Right, there you go. I need to zoom in out a bit more. Yeah, this is way better. All right, let's see what we have here. What more do we have? And Constantine, if you don't mind, how many likes do we have? If you're watching, if you haven't, please do take a second, drop a like on the stream. The likes do go a long way. What you guys thought about Badiashile's last match? I think he did well. For a player, he's been out for a while. You have to, you can say, yeah, consider the fact that he's been out for a while. His match rusty. I get it. He played a cup game. But I think here's the only issue I had in that game. A pairing of him and Thiago Silva, I don't think it's okay. Maybe it's just me. The fact that we had at the time we had Antonio Rudiger. You can pair him with Andreas Christensen or even Thiago Silva, and we still have a perfect defensive line, a mix of aggression, and you can say a mix of aggression, calmness on the ball, or you can say cool-headedness, for lack of a better term. I'd say, yeah, maybe the manager should have considered mixing it up, because we had the Sassi on the bench on that day, didn't we? So I think a mix of the Sassi and the Badiashile. The Sassi is a bit more aggressive. The mix of Thiago Silva, the pairing of Thiago Silva and Badiashile, to me, no, I think it won't work. They're both like for like, in my opinion, in terms of how none of them you can say is aggressive enough to deal with certain situations. I think we on that day would have been better off to have Thiago Silva and the Sassi, or maybe maybe the Sassi and Benoit Badiashile, in my opinion. I enjoy him a lot and think he's our future. He's our future, actually. If anybody is capable of taking up that mantle of leadership in that back line, I think it's him. If we want like for like in terms of replacing Thiago Silva, Badiashile is the guy. His footballing intelligence, you can say how good his ability on the ball, passing range, and he gets who goes too. I enjoy him a lot in things, and I think he is our future with this kind of back plays from Thiago Silva. Do you feel confidence in the Sassi Badiashile defense? Yeah, and that's because they played together at Monaco. And I think it's a good. It would be a good pairing. That's because the Sassi is more aggressive of the two, and you can say, but the more intelligent. You can say, but Badiashile is the more intelligent of the two players. He's better on the ball, has better passing range, but in terms of aerial ability, you can say no. I think he's good. He's excellent aerially also. But in terms of that a bit of aggression you need in a defensive line to have a perfect balance, you get that from the side. See, both are good players, but unfortunately, given where we're at right now, we're not done with Thiago Silva yet. He's an excellent player, and I get it. He's 39, but on his day, if the midfielders would do a good enough job not to let our defensive line be exposed too much, you won't even notice he's 39. So everything protecting Thiago Silva starts from the midfield, and then he will lead from the back. He doesn't even need to be vocal to lead. He leads by example. You can say his timing before passing the ball and all those are factors are come together to define his leadership ability. He doesn't have to speak actually to lead. Like I said, it's how Poch sets up for this game. No more 8 defenders on the pitch, defensive players on the pitch. That doesn't actually make any sort of sense. I agree with you. We shouldn't be playing, with 2 defensive-minded sixes. And play, 3 center backs. That's 5, and also other players. Yeah, I think we've done that calculation before. And that Debayo Markunju, nice to see you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. I have no expectations. Evidently, we are very chaotic club, blessed with a mediocre team. Here's the thing. I think we have a good side. The signs are there. In my opinion, it will take time, and I think a lot. You could say, here's the thing. I don't like making excuses, but you could argue the international break didn't help matters. Our players in that again on the day that day we played Newcastle United, they looked like they were tired. The one nobody on that day did well, in my opinion. But I understand where you're coming from. But nice to see you again, brother. I hope you're doing well. And I bet £2 the Sterling scores. Chances are he'd do that on that day, but let's find out. Let's see. Barney was thrown in after not playing a while, and at Newcastle away, you don't do that. So you don't make such changes, and just another stupid decision from Poch. Here's the thing. Even though he started, that's not an issue for me. But I think we should have mixed it up. Yeah, the combo of Thiago Silva and Badiashile, I don't think will work. They're both like for like. We need a bit of aggression to change things up. Big up, coach. Big up to you, to Santiago Muno. My assistants, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. They played together at Monaco. Everything connects. Yeah, they did for a long period for a period of time. Yeah, for a long time maybe. But yeah, they played together before. The team talent and players are pretty good. They have proved it in the big games already. It's there. The mediocre is more in coaching, in my opinion. And you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm not going to argue against that, because what we do here is have a good conversation. To me, that Newcastle game, I think you could argue, because if you watch the game, I've seen bits and pieces of them from one of my friends on X. Showing how the interplays were excellent, the build-up play were excellent. I think on the day also, Jackson looks like he was still in Africa. Jackson looked like, sorry for that. Jackson looked as if he was still in Africa. He wasn't in that game. He looked rusty, and I couldn't believe some balls that found him, but he didn't make a move to actually get at the end of them and try to put them in the back of the net. You can say the international break, in my humble opinion, did help. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. And Judas in the house. Good morning, coach, and everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much. It's really a good break for me. I'm back. We're gonna have some fun. We'll be streaming daily, whether it be the Blue Morning Show only or the noon show or the Blue Noon Show. I'm not too sure at this point. I'm gonna figure things out, but we'll be streaming daily. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. And big up to you, JC. Always nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Big up Kuchula, Dante, and chat. How are you doing? I can't complain. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding time to join. I believe in Jackson. He's only a 22, but it's a true. He needs to improve. He needs to improve. I don't want a lukewarm form. You can say I don't want. You can say I want him to perform and perform consistently. I don't want a situation where he plays well today, does a lot of stuff well today, and then the next game, he looked as if he looked as if he hasn't played for 1,000 years against Newcastle. Oh my goodness, he shouldn't have lasted as long as he did on the pitch on the day. He was awful. He looked like as if he was still in Africa and not in that game in particular. But I get it, he will come good. But do I think Jackson alone will suffice? I'd say no. I think it was he. I'd say keep him, but we need more than just Jackson. In my opinion, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see what else we have here. I'm not sure how many likes we have, and that's because we're using just two screens, and not 5 today. Yep. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Let's see. Jackson was thinking about his trip to Villarreal, possibly. Aside that trip, Jackson lacks discipline too. Yep, he lacks discipline. He has to improve on that. Too much cards, and he was frowning when the manager subbed him off against the Mac. He says he shouldn't. He's risking quite a lot. It's not like he's been you can say he's been performing consistently. No, I have to be honest. As much as I think that he will still come good, I think he's been awful in some cases. Against Newcastle United, I couldn't believe uh, how badly he played on the day and shouldn't have lasted as long as he did on that particular day. But he's still 22, will improve. But I think I'm starting to question his attitude. He shouldn't be frowning when he's being taken off. No, we shouldn't risk losing games or not winning games because the manager wants to make him happy. And I trust Poch. If he continues to behave like that and Poch decides to drop him, that's it for him. And if Broya performs, that's it for Jackson. So he shouldn't. Especially against Newcastle United, he didn't do anything right, in my opinion. I think the only good merit goal he scored was against City. No, I think he scored another one when we beat a particular team. What team was that? We beat a 3-0. Was it 3-0 or 3-1? He scored a good goal. The sort of goal that we've seen Nicolas Anelka score on his days during his playing days. Let's say what else we have here. Please like it. Tom Abiodo, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Players like Mudrik, Badi, Gusto, especially Chilwell, must improve their performance. I think they will. I'm not quick to judge players right now, and that's because we're not playing as a unit yet. And remember, even as much as I think we can do better than Raheem Sterling, given the fact that he's hardly consistent, you can say the more rehearsed we are, or the more better the new players are, the better you'd see. You can say you will start seeing more and more good performances from Raheem Sterling. Yeah, but right now, I don't expect him to be consistent. But it's Constantine that is always explained. He shows up every other 6 games. Let's see. People should stop with all these excuses. A 22-year-old player is no longer a kid. Lampard and co were already dominating the league at that age. But to his defense, there are other things that you'd look at and say, maybe, for that particular reason, maybe that's one of the reasons why he's struggling. And for instance, we're not well rehearsed yet. We're everywhere. And you could argue the manager hasn't helped, given the fact that he hasn't played with a certain structure consistently so that the players will master that particular structure. It's been everywhere. But as the signs are good, again, I'd still argue that we've been making good progress, in my opinion. Discipline is instilled by the coach and leaders. Poch was suspended for 3 years. So in the stance, Poch says no more thereof. Then goes back on word, and they get 2 days off. But they had a double session training yesterday, so I think he's making up for it. Yeah. But you could argue if he wasn't too sure about not giving them a day off, he shouldn't have talked about it publicly. I haven't seen Gusto play consistently so far. He still looks too nervous. Yeah, and it takes consistent game time for him to, you can say, be as solid as we know that he can be. Believe me, he's a fine player. He has the potential, and chances are he can also get better, become as good as Rich James, and if not even better, because he's an excellent player. And we forget how old is he. How old is he again? I think at most 20. Correct me if I'm wrong. Gusto must improve as well, but we can see his effort in some good things. He actually has 2 assists. He's one of our top. He has 2 assists, and if we look at this, our players' stats, I think he's top in that department. Him and Cole Palmer, or who? Or I don't know who. Making James and Chilwell captains, like I said, always not smart decisions. The 2 of the most not available players, and James, no leadership on field, immature. Ahead. Here's the thing: I think he will improve, in my opinion. But I had issues at the time. But I think let him just keep it. I think he will grow into that role. Could argue extra pressure for no reason as captain. Maybe, but the 2 games he's played for us, I think he has to be one of our most important players right now. Poch's best game for Chelsea so far, played with a lot of intensity, and I am not too sure these young guys can consistently play at that level. Here's the thing: the good thing is that Santiago is that we've heard that we're going to make a few signings, at least three signings in January, and I'm guessing experienced players. We've heard that quite a lot. Then I'm inclined to believe that that will be the case come January. But we'll find out. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, be with the likes to go along. And if you're watching, we're looking for someone that can help to join our team to interview people post game. If you're a match going fan, we will talk. Reach out to me via Twitter or Instagram so we can talk business. Yeah, we'll see how we can. You can say we'll compensate you if you're able to do that for us. We'll discuss the compensation so that you will start interviewing our fans after each game. We want to add that to the content we presented to our followers here. I haven't read this one in this particular comment from Jason PS. It says Portuguese to steer the ship very carefully. We've taken a nasty hit last week, and another one could see us take on water. There are rocky shores approaching, so course correction is needed. Here's the thing: I've always said this before time. If you've been part of this the Chelsea Perspective community for a while now, I'm quite sure you must have heard me say on occasion, say severally that I'm not too concerned at playing against the so-called big boys. Yeah. And I think the results, you can say, seem to prove me to prove that I'm right. That I've been right every time. Again, I say that. But the issue right now is, Brighton, they are depleted. They have lots of important players out. Estupia, Mitoma, I think will play. Daniel Welbeck, who always scores against Chelsea, he might well play. So I just want to see them. I want to see, you can say a strong Brighton side, because that's when we'll play well. Because if they have too many players out, that's when I'm concerned. Because and my argument being that Charity FC is well and truly in existence, in my opinion. SC could see us take on. Yeah, here's the thing: these young players we don't need, because you can say as much as winning is a habit, can become a habit, losing also can become a habit, because it's a mentality thing. Just like last season, no matter what we did at the time, we weren't able to win games. Even games that we were winning, usually we ended up, you can say, drawing games that you can say we scored for us, and you go, yeah, we'll win. It looks like we're gonna win this one. Yeah, we concede dying minutes, some scrappy goal. So my point being, as much as winning can become a habit, losing can also become a habit. So I think I agree with you. We need to win this game. We need to win this particular game. Because if these young players, if they start losing consistently, low confidence will set in, and that will be a huge problem for the manager to solve. So hopefully that's not the case. Let's see. Mbappe won World Cup over 422. Jackson is not a kid. I get the argument. I'm not saying he's a kid, but at 22, there's still room for improvement. That's the argument. There are 19-year-old players that when you see them play, they play. You say I agree that they are the way they apply themselves on the pitch. They look way beyond, mature beyond their age. Yeah, but it's not the same for every player. Some players, you can say, arrive late, for lack of a better language. Double session training is standard when back, but hasn't been the case at Chelsea, in my opinion. Because maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Hopefully, I think so too. Let's see. I think we are. And set multimedia saying, I think we're pampering these guys too much. How old is Isaac, Ganacho, Bukayo, Saka, and Co? He's just not learning how much the striker wants. I think I'm finding it difficult to understand that, but I get your point there. At 22, he should be doing better. We are ranked 17th on the win ratio for 2023. Do not raise your hopes. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this once more. I want us to get into the lineup of prediction exercise as soon as possible. I did not come into this season with so much, you can say, expectation. Yeah. Uh, Here's the thing. I think if you expect us to be playing at the same level as Manchester City, even Newcastle, even Brighton, actually, you're not being truthful to yourself, and probably you'll be you will experience a lot of heartbreaks by the time the season ends. Yeah, I've always said I'm sure we would do well in terms of improving in the team gelling or the team becoming well rehearsed and start playing as a unit. But I can't go to the extent of saying this is how well I think we'd do. And that's because, yeah, I realized early in the season that we made too many changes. We have, you can say, literally an entirely new squad, which means, yeah, the whole thing would take time. So you better tell yourself the truth and not expect too much, yeah, from this particular team. And yeah, you'll be doing yourself a favor by doing that. And yeah, save yourself from heartbreaks. In my opinion, do not raise your hopes. That's an excellent advice, actually. Do not expect too much from these players. What does Poch do during the halftime break? We consistently play badly in most of our games. His substitutions are often late and ineffective. Poch needs to up his game also. I think I agree with you, not just the players. Let's see what else we have here. Darwin Nunes took a season to adapt. Has he actually adapted, really? He's been missing sitters, actually. One thing I give him is he's a fighter. And maybe with time he'd become better. But boy, the sort of chances he's missed, I know I haven't played football for a while. I think I'd put them away, in my opinion. So, but yeah, he's a struggled really. I don't think he's actually arrived. Jackson will be fine. It's still early for him. He has the tools in. Saying him dribbling too much is instruction from coaches. Otherwise, coaches are stupid for not correcting it and dropping him. If not, here's the thing. I think another you could argue because we have a very young squad. They need a lot of coaching, and I think that was the reason why we had Pochettino is, as you can say, his track record with young players, and I think he's done, you can say, relatively well. But I expect more. Let's see. Ready and not listening. That may well be the case. Why are Bali and Iqbali still directors of football? They're not. No, they're not. I don't think you don't hear much again. I think no. Let me just leave it at my first comment. They're not. Yeah. Gentari alluded to that fact. Winstanley and Co are just scouts with titles. I don't think so. I don't think Bali and Iqbali are still directors, in my opinion. If they are, honestly that's a list of my concerns right now. Darwin is still adapting. Yeah. For me, I think he's a fighter, but I'm not too sure with regards to sort of the sort of chances he misses. I'm not sure. If he starts putting the chances away, then yeah, then he'd be an excellent player for Liverpool. But given the way, in my opinion, I'm going to say this. I think maybe not, and that's because they paid a lot for him. Selling him won't be easy. If they try to sell him in a hurry, yeah, they'd suffer a huge loss. And that's because they paid nearly £90 million for him. I can't quite remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but they paid a lot of money for him. So selling him wouldn't be easy. And had they paid, like, let's say around 30 to 40, £50 million for him, I think, yeah, Klopp will sell him in a heartbeat. But I don't think that works. John Terry was a cop, so I believe him. And so you think Terry openly said that they just what? They just, you could say, scout with the title directors. Oh no, I don't think he'd do that. I don't, and I know Terry to be someone. He's not careless with. You could say, he's very. He speaks in a, you could say, in a calculated manner. He doesn't just say things for the sake of it. I don't believe Terry say that and still works at the club. I don't think so. Maybe if Adebayo maybe exaggerated his comment a bit, I'm not too sure. Maybe he spiced up Terry's comment a bit. I don't think he'd say that. You'd be truthful to yourself. He works for the club, and he'd say such. I'd still be working at the club. I don't think so. I don't think so. And I want to see. I don't remember seeing anything to that effect. Maybe Adeba would direct me to where I can find. Would direct me to where I can find that particular terrorist comment. I don't believe he'd say such and still be working at the club. But that's just my opinion, by the way. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Sanchez, for me, starts between the sticks. He's improved, and you could say I don't think we should get he's to blame for any of the goals we conceded against Newcastle United. So I think he keeps his place, and yeah, I think I'm not. I think maybe again it will end up being a hybrid. The application will be hybrid. I think we'll see what's his name, Levi Colwell. I'm not too sure what's gonna happen there. Yeah, the two center backs. I'm really not too sure what's gonna happen. Wait, let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Bali and Igbali don't make football decisions. Come on, they have staff, experts for that. It's as simple as that. So even if they're still directors, they have all the business probably they're prioritizing right now, which is why they hired the people they have in place right now. Not Sanchez, but Sanchez. I think I misspelled his name. They are businessmen. Let's see what else we have here. Coach, I should probably fire everybody in my company. They all freely have a go at me. For even I am occasionally 15 minutes late. Here's the thing. I think, like Constantine Danton mentioned, chances are, what's his name? Chances are, the guy in question I can't quite recognize yet. Nevin got fired for something else. He must have done something else, not just because he criticized the owners in public. I don't think that's the case. He must have done something else. So if we're being honest, and remember, I think we have to talk. You can say we have to be cautious. What we make of cautious of what we make of this particular issue, and that's because remember when the news first emerged that Emma Hayes would take the United States, would become the new United States women's national team coach. Yeah, you can say the I don't know what term to use for them. The Twitter journalists and some journalists also started pushing the narrative that Win Stanley or who was going to get fired. He's in trouble for not you can say finding an agreement with Emma Hayes for a new contract. It turned out, that those were all absolute horse dung or horse doo doo or horse poo poo, whatever you want to call it. We learned, she herself said she's heard all the nonsense that's being said out there, that they were all wrong. She just wants a new challenge. It's as simple as that. So chances are, he left the club maybe on mutual consent. We don't know. Or maybe he did something else and got fired. We don't know. But no matter how you see it, it depends on the boss. You can't just go and mouth your boss in public. I know you as a boss, you're able to take it, and it depends on the sort of company you're running. And then here's the thing: I don't quite believe that they fired him for criticizing the transfer strategy. I don't believe that. In my opinion, something else must have happened. And if you read the comments, the reports out there, they're saying that they will still review his position at the club. And he actually worked at the club as a freelancer. I learned that after the news emerged. So we have to actually, you can say, you treat that topic cautiously, not to jump to conclusions, because right now in the Twitter sphere, where we get most of the news with regards to what's going on at the club, with regard to what's going on at the club, a lot of horse doo-doo out there, in my opinion. But I get you. It's their business. They treat it the way they want, and you also run your own business the way you want. Didn't know you were streaming right now. Yeah, we had issues actually. Maybe the other the main screens aren't working, so it's still saying repairing disk errors. This might take over an hour to complete. But that's by the way, we're moving from that. But nice to see you, Bobby. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I want to hear you guys in the chat. The two center backs who plays, I think, decisive will start. Thiago Silva, I think he may well sit out this one. I don't know, but we'll find out. I don't want to. I think he looks tired, even though he didn't travel for international assignments. He no longer represents Brazil internationally. But he looks tired on the day too. Yeah, because so when you're tired, tiredness can impair your judgment. Yeah. But let's find out what happens. But Bobby, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. People will be rounding up soon. It all depends how Brighton line up without so many outs. I think this Mitoma looks like he's gonna play, and it also looks like what's his name, Daniel Welbeck, who always scores against Chelsea Football Club. It looks like he's gonna play too. So let's see the two centre backs. Let's hear your ideas there. Preseason, Matson was good. Does Poch now think he has no place in the team, and why? I don't know. All I can tell you, it doesn't look like he sees him as a left back. Chances are he gets to play against Brighton, but we don't know. So we'll find out on the day. If he plays on that day, then and does well, yeah, we may well see. We may well see Matson do a Kukurea there, and if he does that, chances I would keep him. But I think what's his name for the left back position, I think we'd look to sign a left back in January, and that's because Benchwell is sadly fit. Matson isn't really seen as a left back. Maybe the problem is his height. I don't know. His challenge, particularly as somebody has said on the panel here. But that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And this is saying you're correct, Coach. A real reason that can be different. Maybe they're about to employ AI for publishing articles. By the way, I miss Jerry. Why did you fire him? I did not fire Jerry, and I don't think I'll fire him. Jerry has his own YouTube channel now, so probably busy creating content for his YouTube channel. And Norman, the pro guy, says that Chelsea is winning. I hope so. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Please know Buddy Achille, he's one of our best defenders, and I'm not gonna blame him for the issues we had against Newcastle United. Here's the thing: the issue we had against Newcastle stemmed from the midfield area. That Thiago Silva has not been exposed that much. The reason is this: we've had a solid midfield who's done, you can say, done a better job in protecting the defensive line. And if you're going to, Thiago Silva has to play, you have to play. You can say, what's his name? Sorry, so I have to shut down my alarm. Oh my gosh. You have to say somebody like what's his name? Moises Caicedo, who's, you can say, done relatively well in terms of protecting the defensive line. You have to find a way, to, you can say, hide, you can say, cover for Thiago Silva because he's not any younger. He's not getting any younger, in my opinion. But I'm quite sure you understand what I meant to say there. Let's see what else we have here. Just people exchanging greetings there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Free marketing. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. Now we're a nation of introverts. All I can say is it's okay, business to business consulting. Okay, that's by the way, you're having a conversation there. Bobby, I appreciate you finding the time to join. I'm going to find my earpiece now. I'm going to use that one because the earpiece is connected to the other system. But Bobby, I will know when you start to speak. The question I want to ask you is this: before we continue, what do you make of the Pat Nevin case? Some people are blaming the owners. He shouldn't have. They shouldn't have fired him. That he's saying the right thing and all of that. And I think it makes sense that constant in that they argued that he must have done something else behind the scenes that we do not know about. But even at that, you don't badmouth your boss in public. And I did make an argument saying the fact that they know him well enough to know that he said something on TV show that he has access to the owners. And he's a former player, and he could have called a meeting of the of Chelsea old boys and say, "Look, if you like me, that you don't like the direction of the club, Chelsea are going at this point. We should call the owners' attention. We should have we sit and talk with them." And I'm quite sure if they say, tell the owners, "We want to talk with you," I think they'd listen rather than you can say just go in public and blasting your employees on TV. It doesn't matter. But the truth remains, I think there's more to what has happened than what we know. But Bobby, let's hear you. What do you make of the Pat Nevins issue? And if you're watching, please let me know your two sixes, two center backs. Let's start from there. Bobby, let's hear you.
Hi, Coach. Hi. I don't know what's happened with my new setup. It's taken away my avatar, which is a bit weird. But anyway,
But
um,
I keep speaking
Coach, Coach,
into this one.
I don't know that much about the Nevin thing. All I know is I think he may have overstretched his mark with his criticism of the ownership. Now, there, I am a firm believer of the freedom of speech. I think it's one of our precious freedoms in life and in the free society we belong to. However, there are ethics and there are things that you do and things that you don't do. For example, if you're employed, you don't go out and start running your mouth negatively about your employers in the marketplace of in which your employers do their trade. Now, I think Nevin, who has been Chelsea, is Chelsea, and yes, he's served the club, but the club has also taken care of him and given him steady employment even beyond his career. And I'm sure he's benefited from that. And he says he's a fan. I believe he's a fan. There's just some things that are in poor taste. Now, I will give a disclaimer because I don't know the details, but for the club to have, shall I say, dislodged him, he must have said some things that hurt them because we are still in the building stages. There are lots of things that it's rumored the club will, especially like player purchases and things, and I'm like, okay, I don't quite understand this. I can't claim to understand everything in the multi-club system that is now Blue Lake. They call themselves. What's the name again? Oh gosh, Blue whatever the new ownership title. Now, I don't understand everything, and I don't have to. They are the experts. They have a team of sporting directors, and they have a strategy. They have a plan. Part of what we are going through now, for example, the whole Newcastle debacle. We had the fact that the team is so young. We had young players coming back from internationals. Everything is new. Nobody's really been integrated properly yet. We haven't had a team this season yet at all. And I don't think we will, because even when they come back from injury, it takes them time to get fit and it takes them time to integrate and get into a rhythm. So I've completely cancelled any expectation. The only expectation I have for this season is to remain in the league. Now, who are these people that haven't achieved anything financially, haven't built anything financially? And when I say that, I mean to the degree of the owners, to have all these overt opinions. Everybody wants to have a dig at the Chelsea ownership. Everybody wants to have a dig at Chelsea Football Club. You know, I've been on streams earlier about the Newcastle game. I'm like, listen, guys, there's no point getting upset about it because this is Chelsea now. Everybody likes to talk about projects, but nobody actually wants to live the project. Now we're living the project, and this is what it takes. There'll be teething issues, there'll be growing pains, there'll be good days, there'll be bad days. Boy, you all know I hate it when we lose a game, but I've come to appreciate that look, we're gonna have these ups and downs. Next weekend we could beat, was it Brighton 7-8-0, and then fall flat on our face by the next game. This is how it is with a young team, unintegrated team, injuries still not coming back. Those that are back are still looking for fitness and so on and so forth. So when people say, "Oh, what did Pochettino do during the international break?" Well, he spent his time trying to get his unfit players fit. So perhaps not enough time of them being fit, exercising and rehearsing the strategies. Plus, they're young. They fell into the trap of Newcastle, who dragged them into a fight, and they're not used to all that. That's the Premier League. So back to Pat Nevin. If he overstepped the mark with his employers, every employer has a disciplinary process. It's nothing unusual. And as much as I like Pat Nevin, and back in the day, in the old Chelsea TV days, we had lots of very, very nice conversations. I don't think I can side with him on this one, unless someone can educate me and show me that it's totally unjust and he didn't really say anything. Then it's a different matter. But if he came and joined the bandwagon, having a dig at the club, I think the club have every right to. Um, show him the door. Unfortunately, it's very sad because I like him very, very much. I like reading most of his articles. I haven't seen this particular article, but it's sad. It's disappointing, you know. But the attacks must stop. You must give these people have been here a year. They must be allowed the opportunity to do things their way and rebuild their way. We've had to go an entirely different route to Roman Abramovich because of the new FFP laws and things, and we've gone with youth. Now, are they buying too many players? Well, sometimes it looks that way, but are they actually buying these players, or are we just rumored to be buying a lot of these players? That's left to be seen. But yeah, there's some people, sadly, I've unsubscribed from them on YouTube because they're constantly, oh, the owner's this, they want to attack, and they spend hours on a program attacking the owners. I don't see the value in that, and it's pointless for me. That's just my opinion on the whole thing.
Yeah, Bobby, thank you so much. I appreciate you finding time to join me this morning. Well said. Again, it's just sentiment. They own the business and they do what they want with it, in my opinion. Bobby, let's hear you. The right back Gusto, I think he most likely start. It says that his Norton, he has a knock. I think to me, once that language is used, most likely the player gets to start. Colwell left back. The two center backs, Bobby. Who do you think starts in the two center backs position?
Oh gosh, Pochettino, he loves him Thiago Silva, doesn't he? He really does. Even in physical games, that isn't really his strong points and may tend to expose his advanced years. The guy can't put this geezer on the bench for dust. That's no disrespect. Sometimes it has to be like that in the twilight years of your career. I would go the Sassy Badiashile centre backs. If Colwell's is Colwell on the left, did you say? Did you say he's not? I can't see it, coach.
Yeah, Colwell is in the left back position.
Okay, yeah. So I would do Desasi Badiashile. However, I know he will probably do Desasi Silva in the centre back position. Which, fair enough, I'll take that because some of the problems, or shall I say, the challenges we faced from a team like Newcastle, who likes to drag you into a fight, especially at home, and that use their physical ability. Some of that may be a little bit less with Brighton, although they've got some big guys as well, but not quite. They don't quite play that way, and it might be. Better suited for the likes of Thiago Silva. But if I see Thiago Silva on the bench, I wouldn't be that disappointed. I don't think he should be used in every game. He's more for the bigger, classier games than these ones that are in for the fight and the rough and tumble of the Premier League. That's not him. I don't think it ever was him, especially now. But, for whatever reason, Poch thinks he should be on the pitch all the time because maybe of his experience and leadership. There's value in that, but there's no physicality in that. That's it.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. As good as I know Badiashile is, I don't think I think we his that pairing him with Thiago Silva doesn't really work. We need to mix it up with a bit of, you could say, I use the term aggression, not physicality, because Badiashile can actually, I wouldn't say he's physical. He's just more like Thiago Silva, and having two of them start essentially, or maybe it will work this time, because I think, as well as Ugochukwu did on that day, I think maybe I need to watch it again. I think he didn't do much to protect the defensive line. I think the issue with our defense suffered on that. They stemmed from the midfield. The Newcastle played a lot better than I expected them to play on the day. They actually pressured us too much. So I don't think the manager will start with Chikwe again there. This as much as I know better, I take him over as a Disasi. I think this is what I see will happen. I think it will be a centre back of Silva and Disasi. Do I think Matson will get a
You
chance?
know,
I'd say no, especially given the fact that he hasn't played for a while. But if you're there, let's hear you. What do you think will happen? Eugene, I see you. Big up to you. And Chico saying nice to see you too. I hope you're doing
Coach,
well. Again, we have a system. Go ahead, Bobby.
but I was saying, Newcastle didn't do anything that Newcastle doesn't do. It's just we wilted, and they showed that little bit more of a rehearsed team, more of a mature team in terms of their mentality. I mean, in the parts of the first half, they were very much on the back foot, but they kept their cool, and we wilted because our midfield, quite rightly, immature, not quite ready. Cole Palmer perhaps slightly played out of position. Gallagher had a stinker. I'm not sure why, but he really had a bad game. And it was just a very, very bad day at the office, which you will get in a team like this that is unrehearsed, unprepared, and under strength in all games and very young. So we've got to walk this journey. This is our project. We have to walk this journey. I believe still that with time, these players are going to really get it right, but it's going to take time for sure. And we're living it now.
Yeah, I do agree with you and Eugene. Hi to you too. I think we'll manage and get the show done with two windows or only. The other system, I'm gonna try and get it done the moment the show is done. I'm gonna try and fix it. Hello to you too, Eugene. I hope you're doing well. And here we have Jason PS saying, because we had amazing success on the tickle. I thought it would be just a carry on. Then we fell to earth. Now we are starting from scratch. It's as simple as that. I think that's the correct language. We're starting from scratch, and you don't. It'd be sensible for you not to expect too much, and you'll be saving yourself a lot of heartbreaks. I've accepted it and will never change allegiance. Oh my goodness, that's so lovely to hear of you. Patience is all that is needed. I think we will get there. And once we get there, I think a lot of people will fear us, in my opinion. But Silva is a first in tackling clearance. I agree with you. Did you hear my argument? I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's still our best player. He's still, whenever he isn't playing, you can sense we have a serious problem in terms of, you can say, leadership. He doesn't have to be the most vocal to lead. Here's the thing. We have issues. If we cannot protect the defensive line, then he will be exposed. As long as I get it, Enzo, again, he has the independence to be whenever he wants to be deems fit on the pitch, because Enzo helps us tick as in terms of what he dictates the tempo of the game, knows when to switch the ball from one area to the other. I get it. Palmer can do that, but Palmer plays for the forward and doesn't drop as deep as Enzo in most cases. So the only person here, had this guy been on the pitch, Ugochukwu did well, but because he lacks chemistry with the current team, hasn't played consistently. His issue isn't that he's still too young or he looked out of depth, as some people were arguing. I think the biggest issue on that day was that he hasn't played with this team for a while. He hasn't played consistently enough. Had Casado started that game, for me, I think the outcome, you could argue, could have been different, in my opinion. But he didn't start, and Ugochukwu, lack of chemistry with the defensive line. I don't think he did much to protect the defensive line. But he won the ball on so many occasions, but that's not enough. In my opinion. I think, yeah, Thiago Silva, as long as the defensive line is protected, I think he'd be all right. But see, yeah, I know that. Again, and I don't think we can do better than him right now. But I also did argue that the pairing of him and Badiashile, to me, was wrong. We need to mix it up with a bit of a player with more that can be more aggressive than the two of them. I don't think that it just didn't work. The reason Chelsea lost against Newcastle because of a lot of faults. First and foremost, the coach was given a touchline ban, and his son didn't handle Chelsea to our taste in that match. Secondly, mistakes. Was it his son that took over from him? Okay, I have to check that too. No Kukurea and Reese against Brighton. Mitoma is getting his hat trick. That's just what you think. I think even if we start a Colwell in the left back position, I think he's capable of dealing with Mitoma, in my opinion. And plus, he's just recovering from an injury. I don't think he'd be 100%. I wouldn't say go to the extent of saying he messed up. He won the ball so many times, actually. But the fact is, he didn't do enough to protect the defensive line. That's you can say the most important job on that particular day. He didn't do that well, and I don't blame him. And it's not like a lot of people that have that argued on the day after that game that he looked out of depth. I don't think that's the case. The case is that lack of chemistry, in my opinion. More importantly, Poch made Eddie Howe look like world class. Yeah, you can argue that. Eddie is now writing the book. Are you serious? Actually, are you just kidding? Really? Mitoma is out, I think, and so are most of their best players. Yes, then let's look at that again. We did look at that injury and suspension. Adam Webster is out for them. Ansu Fati on no return. Then Danny Welbeck, Duffo, I think he start. Once you see the time, Duffo, I think he start. Julio Enciso out until January. Estupiñán, Duffo, so there's a chance he starts. Solly match out. Tariq Lamptey out. Suspended. Mahmoud is suspended, and Lewis Dunk is suspended. So Mitoma is not on the list right now. But when we started, he was on the list, so probably he'd play. I don't think he's out, but we'll find out tomorrow. Let's see the two centre backs. If you disagree with what you're seeing on the screen, let me know. But I think that's what Poch would do. Mitoma, we'll find out on that day if he's out. But with a return of Poch, Nkunku, Lavia, and Colwell, do I think Nkunku starts? Maybe. I don't know. Colwell, I believe this weekend is in favor of Chelsea, and anyone saying Poch should have been shown the door. I would be like, that person isn't a real Chelsea fan. It's not a matter of being a real Chelsea fan. If that person is being honest, I don't think it makes sense to sack him now. I think I will make him progress. I don't think he's the sole reason why we struggled, in my opinion. Poch risks with Badiashile. He hasn't played for a long time. He's sucked cup games, but you need risks. You need to put him in some game and Poch pick Newcastle again. For me, I knew he was going to start that game, and I predicted he was going to start in my predicted lineup. YouTube shows predicted lineup. But here's then, I was thinking maybe if he starts, then Disasi will start just to mix it up a bit. But at the same time, I thought at the time because Thiago Silva didn't travel, if there's a chance I would see the pairing of Badiashile and Thiago Silva, and that was what happened then today. But it was a risk because they're both like for like. We need to mix it up with what's it called? We needed to mix it up with a bit of aggression, which you can get from Disasi, in my opinion. Keep dropping the likes, and Eugene, nice to see you, brother. And I see your Twitter account is growing. This just go away, man. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes to go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. In that match, not Poch's fault against Newcastle. Like I said earlier, this his son didn't handle Chelsea well because James should have been shown a red card after second yellow. Shouldn't have. I'm not sure what you're saying there. He would have changed the game. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I because I was anchored. I was angry and didn't watch the game. I haven't watched it a second time actually, and I was out of town for Thanksgiving. I didn't want anything that would ruin my mood, and everyone else. Again, my family members will most definitely. You can say know that I if I'm not happy, so I didn't want to risk it. But I'll find the time to watch it again. But from what my observations are, when the game was on, it really looked as if none of the players. It looked as if the players were still on international break. Yeah, it looked like Jackson looked as if he was still in Africa. It was just we were everywhere really. I get it, some good interplays, build-up plays, but yeah, Jackson looks as if he hasn't played for 1,000 years on that day. Yes, I didn't know without looking at that again. And we have Tommy Bryan here saying, Coach, I've been suffering power cuts lately. The power cuts are as bad as Chelsea's concentration level. Whenever Newcastle put a cross into the penalty box, the marking was awful. Poch throws a body in. Also, Ugu in Newcastle, Gala right wing to do what? Not a game you rest players. When Eddie Howe played his Brazilians Isaac and Isaac straight in, who wanted it. They wanted it more. I think, yeah, we didn't look at it again. I'm going to say this. I've said it 1,000 times today. We looked as if we're still on international break, really. None of you can say there's no player to look at and say he played well on that day. We're awful for some reason. Maybe I need to watch it again. But Jackson specifically looked as if he was still in Africa. The discipline is a mirror of coaching and leadership. You've said that before, and I'm inclined to believe that's the case, in my opinion. But I at this point, I don't believe that's the case. CFC have most amount of yellow card. Discipline is an issue, but I'm not going to the extent of blaming the managers for it right now. But I get where Dante is coming from. Whose fault was it a Poch nothing touchline? Nah, I don't think that's an issue really. But I've seen people argue that actually was the case. But for me, I don't think so. But that's, by the way, I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And my happiness is yet disabled Nana. Now, what will happen when Palmer meets Nana? He will be crying for help. Palmer is another ZH upgrade because he's left-footed too. I think he has more to his game than ZH, in my opinion. But that's, by the way, we get to hear. Yeah, I think left wing. I think Starling starts too, even though he was off in that particular game. I'd be shocked, but this is I'd be shocked if Modric starts over Starling and Jackson. I think he starts also, but if I were the manager, honestly, I'd start Broya just to discipline. You could say Jackson a bit, and the fact that he was frowning when he was subbed off, I think I'm starting to believe those that argued at the time that he has an attitude issue. I think the manager, if that's the case, the manager needs to discipline him a bit. But I think he starts this game too. But if I were the manager, I won't his game. I don't know. And he did travel, right? He did travel for international assignment with Senegal, because it didn't look like he was back from the break during that game against Newcastle United. The travel thing, the fact that he went to watch his former teammates play, is that's the least of my concern. And we heard that he was scheduled to travel even before we the loss to Newcastle United, so I'm not too concerned about that. For 10, I think as much as Nkunku isn't ready, that you could say, I think, yeah, Gallagher starts too. I think on that day he looked um I just don't want to talk about his performance on the day until I watch the game again. But boy, he could have scored 2 goals on that day. I don't know whether he was tired or anything. But I think he starts this particular game. So Bobby, if you're there, let's hear you. The lineup we have between the six. We have Robert Sanchez at two center backs, Silva and Sassi right back, Malo Gusto left back, Cowell, two sixes, Enzo Fernandez, and Moses Casado, 10, Conor Gallagher, right wing, Cole Palmer, Starling, left wing, Jackson at number 9. Yeah, but I think it's that. I remember. Okay, sing a song. Yeah, a lot of people, and I wanted us to sign him too. Gallagher should not play this game, but I think he starts, and you know he starts. But let's hear you, Bobby. What do you make of the lineup?
First of all, do you like my new picture? Can you see it?
Sorry.
Can you see my new picture?
Oh yeah, but I'm gonna still see. I'm not. I can't quite figure out what it is. I see you change your DP.
It's
I think one says
a
Psalm
shirt.
25, but I'm gonna pay closer. But go
Psalm
ahead.
23. Psalm 23, a present from someone at church, and I was modeling it there with my back. I still don't show myself completely, but that's part of me. So yeah, that's Psalm 23. Read your Bible, read your Psalms, and you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, listen, Coach. I think that lineup is definitely what he's going to go with. And it's what we have. This is the unfortunate thing. We're still injury deplenished. But I don't know how fit Brozier is. I think he was on the bench against Newcastle, wasn't he? I can't remember now. And if his fitness has in any way improved, I will start him ahead of Jackson and bring Jackson on later. That's the only change I would make in what you've just called out there. Are you there?
Yeah, honestly, I do agree with you. But I'm not too sure how fit Broya is. Um,
You
chances
didn't
are, and
thumbs
then
up
I've
my.
heard that Pochettino likes Broya. Chances are, whenever he's fully fit, go ahead, Bobby.
You, you didn't thumbs up my new picture, and the fact that you said it was Psalm 25 instead of 23 gives me some concern that it's not showing right. That's crazy. Are you not there, Coach?
But Bobby, did we lose you? Or are you there?
No, I've been talking all along. I'm there. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think it's my
Yeah,
connection. Go ahead.
I've been talking. I think maybe the chat can hear me, but I don't know if you can. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Bobby. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I've finished what I was saying. I was mainly fishing for compliments for my new picture, but
Yeah, I like it, and I'll read it. I promise you.
Oh, thank you, because you ghosted me. I thought, right, have I missed? No, I've said what I needed to say. Let's roll. Let's roll on. What next? I mean, I just said that the forward line is what we have and what I think he will do. The only thing there I would do is that if Brozier is fitter, I would start him ahead of Jackson. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I do agree with you, but we don't know how fit he is, and well, let's wait and see what the manager does. And consultant Dante Rashi was singing earlier too. He ran away. He did stay for long, but I think Rashi, when he came, he was being proactive. He started condemning Onana by himself even before we said anything, and then he took off. But that's by the way. Let's see what we have here. Katila, it's safe to say that we dodged an artillery shell and not bullet with Onana. Houston, you never know. He was brilliant for Inter Milan throughout, especially their Champions League run and the season overall. He came to United and everything changed. I don't know. Maybe it is karma for the way he spoke to Maguire on the pitch, and boy, they paid quite a lot for him. Chances are,
But this is
had we signed
this.
him, the story would be different for him right now. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, this is testimony to how different the Premier League is. Even in the goalkeeping position, the demands on you is quite different. Now, I was never convinced about Onana. You know, some people spoke to me about him, and there were people that I trust their football acumen, as it were. And I felt this guy really wouldn't quite be it because he's too erratic. And I just didn't see we need a calm, safe pair of hands. We don't need this sort of shaky, risky type of character. And that's who he is. And he's never going to change from that. That's who he is. He's been like that all along. He has great moments and he has absolute blunders. That's him. But, you know, coupled with the Premier League and the kind of league it is difficult. And this is his first season. He's going to take time to fit into this kind of frenetic yet very wily league where you know teams are studied, players are studied, they know you, and part of the practice sessions is to expose weaknesses and to put pressure on weaknesses. So I think we are fortunate that we didn't go for him if we were ever going to go for him in the first place. I'm glad he's not with us because even if he settles in, I'm not sure he's quite that keeper that we need.
Yeah, again, I agree he's not. And if we look, there are lots of players that Chelsea fans pushed for the club to sign. And you can argue we did dodge an artillery shell. Yeah, given that we were lucky enough to have signed them. Potson, no, he's not playing. Coach Gallagher will be starting right wing. His thing, it's fluid anyway. It's fluid anyway. So let's just go and select the correct lineup. I'd be shocked if it doesn't, and that's because I know that. Yeah, not just me saying. I'm going to say this disclaimer. He's not my favorite Chelsea player, but the bar is so low that he's one of the best performing players, and I think. Given what he brings, I think the man is starting. And if it were up to me, honestly, I wouldn't be starting him right now, especially after the last game. But he has what he offers that nobody else offers. And the manager, for me, you could argue he's become one of the manager's most important players, and the numbers back him up. Unfortunately, if that's how you want to see it, but that's by the way, it doesn't matter really. If I can just move them around, yeah. But I think let's see what we have here. I'll get whatever you have in the chat, and then we'll call it a day. And hopefully, by the time we come, I don't know if we do a second show today. Maybe or maybe not. I have to take the boys for swimming, but maybe we'll try. But I think the other machine it's done. Hopefully, it fixed the issue. It's true. Cool. Chelsea was signing a singing song. Chelsea fans, were singing the song. Let's sign Onana. Even I preached for the club to sign him. I have to say that. So 23 got a 20. Okay, let's see what I see. Have here. Big up Kachila, Bobby, and everyone in the chat, and that's my bro DJ Surf. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join. It's all good, Bobby. It's showing. Yep, I can't see it probably because it's tiny on this particular window. Big up, bro. How are you? I hope you're doing well, everybody. Why am I even reading that? But welcome, DJ. Much love to you. Chichilla lagging his upgrades, downgrading. I think we'll be better off. And I'm switching. I got a message from the Cox service. They're saying they have what's it called? Best internet. It's called what's the term used for it? Fiber optics. They have the fiber type right now, so I'm going to switch to that as soon as I can. But let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's see. Coachella is using the same software which is using VAR rooms on that the lag. No, the lag is because I'm using the system that has lots of the software I use for live streaming because the main screen here, as you can see, all blank. It just got done fixing the disk issues, like I said. So hopefully, by the time I start it up again, it'll be working properly. But that's by the way. Let's see. Yeah, bro, all good. Just that weather in December, hot in Enugu. Yeah, I heard that too. And plus, yeah, the country is not good right now. I think he made a mistake against Galatasaray, not just in the Premier League. Oh, that was the one that Russia was talking about, and he's made a lot of high profile mistakes. At first, I was thinking maybe his case would be just like that of David De Gea, who made a lot of mistakes when he joined United. But over time, not until they stop, you can say De Gea every now and then he makes some you can say horrendous mistake, and you'll be questioning how much is he getting paid for every week, and he still makes such high profile mistakes. But Onana, I'm not sure. I think Manchester United fans will be calling for his head. Big up to you too, Coach. You using the video? No, I don't. Don't mind him. He's joking around. Maybe he doesn't have too much work to do at the office. That's a C for you. Decision pending. Let's see what else we have here. Mutrik in, Gala out, maybe, but we're just saying this is the lineup we think the manager will start. If he does something, if he does otherwise, we'll find out. But right now, I think this is yeah, this is his most selected most likely starting at 11 against but we'll find out against Brighton, but we'll find out. Let's see, Constantine, just people having a conversation here.
Coach, it's
No,
very
I meant to say
interesting.
Gallagher is good in midfield. Go ahead, Bobby.
I was saying, sorry to interrupt, but it's very interesting what you say that the bar is so low that Gallagher really looks like our best player almost. Um, you know how much I love Conor Gallagher, but inclined to agree. I think his performance against Newcastle was dreadful. I don't know what happened to him. I mean, that was bad, even by his somewhat deficient standards. That was a very, very bad performance. But you're right. You know, the quality, or certainly in terms of consistency of performance, has not been great, and it's made him stand out more. Although, to be fair to him, he has had some really good games. But yeah, I mean, the whole overall, and this is what's going to happen with young players, coach. We're going to have these poor, somewhat delicate performances. What I want us to improve upon going forward is. Just as Poch said himself, a little bit more physicality, a little bit more, but definitely our aggression levels. Our aggression levels has to get much better, and sensible aggression, not stupid aggression. I call it Rudiger aggression. Rudiger was one of the most aggressive players you could ever get, but it was all within the rules of the game. That's why he never got red cards. I think he only got one. He never got any for Chelsea, but I think he's only had one. Is it with Real Madrid? But Rudiger doesn't, he barely even gets yellow carded as well. So he is a very sensible player with his physicality, strength, and aggression. And that's what we need. That's why we played the Sassy.
Yeah, we need to mix it up. We need to mix it up. I think we did talk about that. We will get better, but yeah, we'll see a lot of the disjointed displays we've seen. A lot in some cases, the it's a mix up in midfield area or in defensive area will lead to us conceding goals until we are properly rehearsed and we start playing as a unit. We'll get better. No, I meant to say Gallagher is good in midfield and improved. To be honest, yeah, we have to say that using him as in a right wing didn't work. Yeah, so which was and it's fluid anyway. I think you see them switching places. So this is what we're going to see there. Using him in right as a right wing didn't work out that well. Needs a time, maybe, but we have so many wingers, so not necessary to put him there. But let's see what the manager does. But I think he starts, and I'm going to say this not because he's my favorite player at Chelsea. Didn't like why you all didn't discuss about Sterling's free kick against Newcastle. We didn't do a post game show, and we're not going to start talking about it today. But that was delicious, and it looks like uh, he should be taking out free kicks from now on because he had one that hit the goalpost, didn't he? Yep, he had one that hit the goalpost, and that one the goalkeeper was rooted. The one against Newcastle didn't even attempt to stop the ball. The see pushing him there was not smart. What was he pressing out for Newcastle backup left back? Yeah, and all that. I think yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Dante is in good form. He is doing the better tappings. Okay, getting tired of all of the nonsense coming out from some Chelsea fans on Enzo. Listen, I understand we need to criticize players when they play badly. Enzo has not been bad. I don't think he's been bad. I think Enzo, if anything, if we've been paying attention, we've learned actually without him on the pitch, we struggle a lot. We can't play. We can't control games. It's as simple as that. Say what you like about him. I get it. He's not been scoring goals, but in all honesty, he's been one of our best players, in my opinion. And Chelsea Nietzsche Boy, the guy I don't like, is back in the house. Please go check out Nietzsche Boy's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Let's help him get to 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I think we can help make that work for him. And don't forget, we have a Premier League prediction show on Soccer Perspective that comes up on Friday. We still do match build-up show. That's the manager's presser watch along and also build-up show on Friday. We'll do that on Friday. And then we'll do pre-game show on a Sunday proper. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along. We appreciate you all. Yeah, Clock Starling for free kick, but the rest was a shocking. His technique was a spot on the captain Reese takes a next one and shows him how it's done. Yeah, you have to balloon it. It has to be one that the rugby union would be very proud of. However, going on to Twitter, X, yep, formerly Twitter, but now X, seeing fans say Salah is a joke. Already hearing United, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal fans, Salah Enzo, to us, we will make him the player. Here's the thing. I don't care what people are saying about Enzo. It's simple. They don't understand football. And maybe they haven't learned that when he's not playing, we don't play. And it's as simple as that. He's an excellent player. I get it. He hasn't scored. But boy, he's the reason why we've been playing well. I get it. Yeah. Enzo was probably our best player against Newcastle. Thank you. Pinpoint that one too. But a lot of people wouldn't give him that credit. And that's not saying much for that game, but still, yeah, exactly. Let's see. Honestly, how Newcastle left back coach Sterling really amazed me. I am talking about Trippier. Sterling defensively doesn't do anything. So yeah, exactly. Constantine, he was, but some of our fan base, yeah, you're having a conversation with somebody there. And AB, I haven't seen you in 1,000 years. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate. That's not to say I'm a vampire, but nice to see you, brother. I hope the case is that you've been busy, not that anything has happened to you, but nice to see you. Why is Gallagher on the right? No, we're having a conversation, and I thought JC was suggesting that I put Gallagher on the right, but you see, I fixed it. So we were having a conversation, and by the way, it's fluid anyway. There's nobody static there. It's saying no present Chelsea player scores that Bruno for this goal yesterday. We are so lacking that X factor. You could argue that until proven out otherwise. So I agree with you. Yeah, I have to believe that until proven otherwise, in my opinion. Big up Mitchell Boy. Everybody loves Mitchell Boy, but I don't like him. Gallagher is so poor at marking his man during set piece. Yeah, and here's where that comes in. I think on occasions, I think we don't do something that you usually see other teams, well-organized teams do. You see people, even Gallagher himself should point out that this guy is a mismatch here. I cannot mark this guy. Someone else taller than me should come and mark this guy. And I think Thiago Silva maybe should pay attention to who's marking who during set piece so that we don't have situations where players are marking players that are much bigger than them. And all they can do to stop them from you can say beating them aerially would be just to notch them or try to unsettle them a bit by pushing them, which could lead to us conceding a penalty. For instance, Kukurea marking against Kukurea marking what's his name? Marking Holland. Maybe I need to see that again for me. That led to us considering the penalty. I can't quite remember that incident, but let me not use that. But my point is, we should always check who's marking who, and if the case is that it's a mismatch, then we rotate and let taller players mark taller players. I think I agree with you. Always loses this man. Teams that now target Poch, obviously. It's not as details like Yosei and Co. Maybe it would take time. Maybe there's a lot of work to be done because he's working with an entirely new squad, in my opinion. Nkunku must be at least on the bench. I think he will be, and chances are, I wouldn't be shocked if he starts and plays like 60 minutes plus, or maybe comes on to play just 30 minutes. I think here's the thing. Poch likes him so much and believes in him so much that maybe you could argue he wouldn't want to risk a situation where he suffers again another injury when he hasn't actually played up to 50 minutes or so. I don't think it's risk too much, but we'll find out on the day. And correct me if I'm wrong, of all the pictures we've seen emerging from the training ground, he's been alone. We haven't heard anything to the effect of him training with his teammates, but he's been on the grass for a while now. Maybe what Pochettino or what let's use the term that they've always used. He's still in the reconditioning phase of his recovery. That may well be the case, but I don't know. But I think he should be at least on the bench. We think, but we don't know what the manager would do. Enzo is one of the most technically gifted players in the league. But if you expect him to be the superstar in matches, then you're making a mistake. He's just like a Postcoast. Yep, Jorginho. Except Jorginho with more to his game. He's not that sort of player that will be your top goal scorer or all this thing. And here's the thing: people that are saying he hasn't been performing, they just don't understand football. To them, football is just goals and assists. No, I think it's more to the game. There are some people that will be part of the team and won't offer much beyond helping you control the game or dictate the pace of the game and all that. I think Gallagher has this of value, but the real dream team doesn't have him and have Lavia. We'll find out. You could be correct, but we don't know yet. I know how important he is to Pochettino that I had to bet that if he didn't start a certain game that I'll do $100 giveaway. Yeah, that's not me saying he's the best player at Chelsea. But that's fine. Anyway, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with Silva need to be rested against United. Please, what you guys see, we'll find out. I'm not too sure. It all depends. We'll find out. You can't say in terms of our defensive line, we're not too sure which of the you can say the pairing or which of the pairing the manager will prefer going forward. You don't know whether it be Silva, Disasi, or Silva, maybe Palmer, Silva, what's his name? Badeshila or Silva Kowa. We don't know. We'll find out. They're not even on opposition of body of players at free kicks. We're just marking free spaces. It's more zonal marking than coaching. It's clearly not working. So he has to switch it around. and we've been poor aerially. It's not funny. Any hope of top four, my fellow Chelsea fans? I don't know. I think you could say technically it's still possible, and that's because it's just like it's just as last season when we lost a lot of games, and those below us also lost a lot of games. Had that not been the case, you could argue that we'd be playing in the championship right now. So the opportunity is still there, and that's because the guys, you say other teams haven't been winning that much; they've been struggling too. So, but it has to take some performance to make it to top four. Yeah, but we'll find out. Let's see. Let's see what else we have here. They're saying, Coach, you look a little rusty after your break. Were you together with Jackson during the holiday? No, I'm not rusty. I think it's you can say we had a rocky start to this particular show. That's because the main system didn't work. You can see I'm facing the main system is there, but hopefully the issue is fixed because the system was trying to correct the disk errors by itself. Maybe that happened. No, but I'm good. Honestly, I'm good. Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Coach was cooking it with with one, and that's it, people. I think we've had a good discussion, even though we have just two screens here instead of five, the usual five. Caused a lot of issues. I don't even know how many likes we'll have, but that's why I want to say thank you to all of you that found time to join the show. And the selection here is the Sanchez between the sticks, two center backs, Silva and Axel, the Sassi right back, Malo Gusto. I think he starts because his injury updates read when we looked at it, he read doubtful, which means he started. Colwell probably left back, 266 Enzo Fernandez and Moses Caicedo, 10 Conor Gallagher Palmer, right wing, left wing Starling, and I think Jackson starts again, even though in my opinion he looked as if he didn't return from Africa against Newcastle United. I think he starts this game in my opinion. And let's see, and Victor Ogunbanjo says, can Jackson stop being a too fancy in front of goal? Just shoot. Yeah, I don't know. You could argue he doesn't have the instinct of a striker. He doesn't. On some occasions, I expected him to shoot. He had to take a first touch and then a second touch. I think you're very correct. So maybe that changes with time. Jackson will come good, but Jackson alone will not be enough. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So Coach Dean turned his computer on until before the show started. That's the coaching. Just go away. That's the coaching problem now. Needing to upgrade system. Here's the thing. I didn't even. The whole thing was actually still plugged up. And if you remember, I'm not going to go to that extent. So if we can chat privately, I will explain why I didn't do that. But that's by the way. You like to shame me in public, right? I'm going to get back to you. Let's see what else we have here. We should buy Leao and Osimhen. Those are two players actually. Osimhen maybe. Leao, he just signed a new contract, which means pricing him out from AC Milan would take us something special. It would be premium, and I don't think the club would do that. I think yes, in terms of wingers, I think we're good. But Leao is a different quality altogether. Do I think we should go for him? If we can, but do I see us doing that? I say no, in my opinion. But let's see. Please, our next show. Please let us discuss about Victor Osimhen if he's needed in our attack or not, or are we to maintain Jackson? I'm going to say this again. Jackson alone will not be enough, but Jackson will come good eventually. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think we need to sign another striker, whether Victor Osimhen, whether was the Feyenoord guy, who for me, if I had to choose, if I have to choose from all the strikers that we're linked with, I choose him. Santiago Jimenez, I think, is an excellent player. He's the more complete of all the players that we're linked with. But that's just my opinion. He can create chances. He's good aerially. He's good on the ball. He's a good dribbler, drop deep, and all that. He has everything you need in a striker. So for me, he's the guy I'd say let's go for. Osimhen, for some reason, he's an excellent striker. He's a fine footballer, but he's played as a traditional number 9 all his life. Which means if he becomes becomes part of a system where it's a fluid approach and it's expected to do more than just wait for the ball in the box to put it away, I think he's not going to get as many goals, and frustration will set in. And I see Chelsea fans are turning on him. If we have a manager such as Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, I'd say get him. Chelsea is his place. But right now, I'm so concerned for him. More importantly, and I've presented. I have other reasons, but that's not my concern. If the club feels like they're capable of, you can say, doing well in the absence of, you can say, two top African strikers that we'll be living for AFCON every time the competition comes around, that's fine by me. But I have all the reasons, given the way I know the sort of striker I know that Pochettino likes to play with, and the Chelsea fans turning against Osimhen. That's an issue for me, in my opinion. But let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the lights on the stream. We have Victor Osimhen, please. If we sign him and the manager can make adjustment to accommodate him, that's fine. I don't think we really need Leao. I know he's good, but we are okay in that area. You could argue. Leao is just more experienced, and Leao also talk about players not doing much defensively. I think that's his thing. Leao doesn't contribute much defensively, in my opinion. Let's see. Maintain Jackson. We don't have a lethal striker at this present. I did say we should maintain him. I said that Jackson will come good, but Jackson alone will not be enough. Maybe you're responding to someone else's comment and not mine. Jackson is not even rated among the top 30 strikers in Europe. And when we were still again when we were on the verge of signing him, his numbers came out, and people were arguing he's one of the top. You can say he has the best, one of the best conversion rates. I think top actually in the Spanish league. And at the point, the number that was presented, his conversion rate at the time was, I said, this doesn't look good for me. But here's the thing: there's a good player in Jackson, and I still believe he will come good. But I'm going to stop liking him as a player the moment I sense that he has an attitude issue, like Adebayo suggested. I didn't pay attention to his face when he was taken off. I was so angry when that game was still on. If I was at home or in my office, I was sure that I'd break something on that day. But I get your point. Let's see. And Constantine Dante said, Coach, you keep saying Osimhen wouldn't be as good. No, here's the thing. Everything will come down to the manager. And with Chelsea fans be patient with him, won't be as good because of system. But you do realize how Napoli play a formation style. I haven't paid attention that much. I'm not saying because here's the thing. I was clear with the point I was making. He's played all his life as a traditional number 9. Everything you can say, nearly all the time, go through him whenever he's on the pitch. I don't know. For his sake,
Sorry,
honestly,
Coach,
if
I
we had
have to
Mourinho
drop out.
manager, I'd say bring him.
Sure.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Sorry, I have to drop out for a short while. I've got something coming up right now.
All right, no problem. Yes, then if we sign him, as long as the manager is willing to adjust his approach to accommodate him, I'd love that. I don't want that Thomas Tuchel Lukaku situation. Even when you have a traditional number 9 like Osimhen, everything. Once we get to the final third, I wouldn't say everything. Mainly, 90% of, you can say, majority of the time would have to go through him. If you get my point. And if that doesn't happen and he doesn't score as much as he scored at Napoli, frustration will set in. And also the Chelsea fans will turn on him. They'd like him to be scoring 20 plus per season, or otherwise be a top scorer. Otherwise, they turn against him. That's where I have an issue. And the manager also have to change things a bit. He's a traditional number 9 in the Manly. He's not a hybrid number 9. You need to tweak things to accommodate him. And he's not the sort of player that when you have him, if we have him within our ranks, he gets to play only when we play a certain team, if you get my point. And the same argument I'm making before we signed Romelu Lukaku is the same argument I'm making right now. But the Osimhen is more in my opinion, more technically gifted than Lukaku, has a better touch than Lukaku, in my opinion. Yeah, but he's not. Even he is not perfect. I hope you get my point here. Let's see what else we have here. This says what I like about the same man is the way he adjusts to plays. Yeah, he has that in him. I've seen that myself. I used to think that wasn't the case, but I paid more attention. He has more to his game, but that's not to say he's perfect. If you get my argument. And the building, welcome back. Welcome to you to GFC. Gavin, I hope you're doing well. If you haven't, guys, go check out GFC Gavin's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him grow. Selflessness is the reason why we're growing as quickly as we're growing. And hopefully we get to 18,000 subscribers as soon as possible. It's getting closer and closer. And I'm not quite sure how many likes we'll have today, actually. But this saying, Bobby ghosting coach back. Bobby had to leave. He had something that he has to take care of. But we're back. I think if we're staying consistently, lots of the committee members will know that we're back. Brighton and United are left from these tough fixtures list. No else held except this Newcastle one. We need a Lavia and Nkunku as soon as possible. No more of Gallagher in the number 10 position, but we'll see what happens. We don't know until the manager does something. That's when you get to know that Gallagher isn't starting. But right now, even though I will still tell you Gallagher isn't my favorite Chelsea player, and the bar is so low that even a player that isn't as good as any of the players we had in the past. It's topping statistics. It's topping some of the departments in statistics, in my opinion. But let's see what Coach, please, which Jimenez are you talking about? Feyenoord, the Feyenoord guy. Yeah. I hope it's not that guy with a broken skull. Who broke his skull? I don't know. DD? I don't know. Napoli plays 4-3-3, but maybe you're right, Coach. Postel wouldn't know how to use him. It's his thing. Let's just say this. It takes two things for a player to succeed for players to succeed when they switch clubs. One, you're joining an entirely new squad. Yeah, something has to change to accommodate that player's approach, how that player applies themselves on the pitch. And the manager also has to tweak something a bit to accommodate that player. And in the case of Lukaku, Thomas Tuchel, Lukaku thrives when you build the team around him. And as Ty would say, Lukaku at the time was suffering from what Ty calls the main guy syndrome. And at Chelsea, Tuchel didn't want him to be the main guy. Tuchel wanted the team. And I think he did say something to that effect during one of his presses. He's not into building the team around a single individual. And a lot of people, you can say a lot of pundits were saying we should do that. That's how to get the best out of Lukaku. But Tuchel is not the kind of guy that does that. He likes to build a well-oiled team where the number 9 can create chances for his teammates and it can also score goals and all that. And that was why he didn't want to do that for Lukaku. And had he done that, Lukaku could have scored more goals than he scored during his second stint as a Chelsea player. But chances are, we could have, you can say, been worse off at the time had he done that, in my opinion. Let's see what Jude has to say. If I was Poch, I would bench Jackson. I did argue that too. Bench him. Let him go do some self-reflection and be better for the next game. And I will let him know I was saving him the energy of being upset if he was to be substituted. Wow, that's delicious. I like that. So he can get the message. I think he needs to. If really he was frowning because when he was soft, then the manager needs to find a way to discipline him. But if he's the best we can do, I don't think it makes sense to bench him. If Broya can, you could say, come in and do a good job, or maybe an even better job, why not give him a chance and bench Jackson? For a game or two, so he wakes up. To be honest, I think some people are jealous on Enzo. You can argue that they're just jealous. He's done well for us, and I'm glad he's happy at Chelsea, and I'm glad he understands. The project will take time. But he knows once he clicks, we will be one of the best, the strongest team in England. It's as simple as that. And I'm not concerned too much about my team. I just don't expect too much in terms of achievements this season, but I know we'll be better off. Enzo can still I like that one too. Yeah, you can argue that at least Gallagher can press high in the 10 against better teams. So by playing him a right wing in this Brighton game, he should not play. We need another attacker on pitch, and we at home against Brighton, missing a lot of Brighton that's missing a lot of players. You could argue that, and this is saying there's no excuses for Poch. Nothing, not setting up correct offensively at home against a mid-low table team. Yeah, you could argue that. But I think with that, people will come to the natural end of the show. Once he does that, then if it's only the players are fine, but he needs to show that. Hopefully, he changes things around for good. But that's, by the way, I think we've had an excellent discussion. Hopefully, by the time we stream again, the other machine will be up and running properly. I want to say thank you to Bobby, who's found time to be part of the panel today. I cannot thank you enough. And Chimera here saying, let's see what he has to say here. Saying I was watching Madrid, Napoli, and we deeply missed out on Bellingham. What a player he is, elite level player. Heston, he wasn't as good at Dortmund. That's the thing. Everything comes down to the manager. If you get my point. But that's why I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to Bobby, who was on the panel with me. Thank you to Chimera, and thank you to Constantine Dante. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Thank you to Eugene. I appreciate you, brother. And Victor Ogupanjo. I appreciate you, brother. And who else? GFC Gavin. Much love to you. I appreciate you finding the time to join. And if I miss your name, apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all. And bye.